Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast, where we explore time-tested traditions and cutting-edge science to help you live stronger after 60. Now, today's episode might catch you off guard, because we're not talking about food, supplements, or exercise. We're talking about showering. Yes, that daily habit we all do, often without a second thought. But new research and some very old wisdom suggests that how you shower after 60 could be affecting your immune system, your brain function, and even your sleep quality. To help us unpack this surprising connection, we're joined once again by a man who has dedicated over a century to health and healing. Japan's oldest practicing physician, Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, is back with us. And today, he's shedding light on the critical but overlooked link between your shower routine and your overall vitality. Dr. Hinohara, welcome back. Can you help us understand, why is something as simple as showering getting so much attention in aging research?
Thank you, John. And yes, showering may seem like a routine task, but especially after 60, it becomes something much more important. In Japan, we see bathing not just as hygiene, but as a daily opportunity to reset the body, physically, mentally, even neurologically. You see, as we age, our body's ability to regulate heat, moisture, and even stress begins to shift. The skin changes, the blood vessels react differently, and the nervous system becomes more sensitive, not just to emotions, but to everyday signals like temperature, pressure, and timing.
That's fascinating. And honestly, I don't think most of us ever think about a shower as something that sends signals to the body. We see it as just cleaning. But you're saying the body is actually interpreting that routine in a deeper way.
Exactly. And that's where the problem or the potential begins. Because depending on how you shower, you may be helping your body heal or quietly draining its defenses. There's recent data, Kate, and centuries of tradition showing that small tweaks in your shower routine can affect how you sleep, how clearly you think, and even how resilient your immune system stays. And by the end of this conversation, I'll share the simple ritual we use in Japan that supports all of those things in just a few minutes a day. But first, I think it's important we talk about the most common mistakes I see people make, especially in Western countries. These habits seem harmless, but they can have ripple effects across the entire body.
That's such an intriguing way to look at it. We think of a shower as the most ordinary thing, but you're saying it can either signal healing or stress. And I know our listeners are already wondering, what exactly are these mistakes? What are we doing wrong in the shower, especially after 60, that could be throwing our system off balance?
Let's start with the first. And it's also the most common mistake I see. Showering too hot, too long, and too late. Many older adults believe that a long, hot shower before bed will help them unwind. And I understand why. It feels soothing in the moment. The heat relaxes the muscles, softens the tension in the body. But what we've discovered, both in ancient practice and modern research, is that this comfort comes with a hidden cost. Because the body doesn't just feel the water, it reads it. It interprets temperature the same way it interprets light, food, or sound, as information. And when that water is too hot, above 41 degrees Celsius or about 106 degrees Fahrenheit, the body doesn't say, time to sleep. It says, something's wrong. Heart rate increases, cortisol, the stress hormone, spikes, and melatonin, your natural sleep hormone, gets pushed back.
So even if it feels relaxing in the moment, Your body's actually being pushed into alert mode?
Exactly. It's what we call false relaxation. You feel calm on the outside, but your biology is being quietly agitated. A 2022 study from Osaka University studied this closely. They tracked elderly adults who showered at different times and temperatures, and they found something striking. Those who used hot water late in the evening didn't just sleep worse. They had more fragmented sleep, lower heart rate, variability, and even elevated anxiety levels at night. The parasympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for rest, repair, and healing, never fully activated.
That's so counterintuitive. We're taught that hot water is therapeutic, even marketed as self-care. But it sounds like after a certain point, especially after 60, it turns into the opposite.
You're right. That's what makes this so important. After 60, our skin becomes thinner. We lose heat more easily. Our body's ability to regulate temperature weakens. And at the same time, our circadian rhythm, the body clock that tells us when to rest and when to wake, becomes more sensitive to disruptions. So when you introduce high heat at the wrong time for too long, it doesn't soothe the system. It confuses it. It says, stay alert, stay awake. And the consequences aren't just poor sleep. Over time, that kind of disruption contributes to immune suppression, brain fog, slower recovery from illness, and even chronic inflammation. It's one of those silent stressors that hides inside a daily routine. But once you understand it, once you shift it, it becomes a powerful opportunity to support your body instead of stressing it. The second mistake is skipping what we call the cool down phase. Most people step out of the shower, towel off, maybe moisturize, and that's it. But what we've learned in both traditional Japanese bathing culture and modern science is this: how you finish the shower matters just as much as how you begin it. In Japan, we often end with a brief exposure to cooler water, not ice cold, just a gentle drop in temperature. This sends a signal to the body: reset. It stimulates circulation, gently contracts the blood vessels, and calms the nervous system. It's like pressing the restore button.
Now that's really interesting. We tend to think of cold exposure as this intense thing: ice baths, cryotherapy, cold plunges. But what you're describing sounds much more subtle and honestly more doable. So what's actually happening in the body when we end a shower this way? Why does a quick rinse in cooler water have such a big effect?
It's a good question. What's happening is physiological contrast. When the body experiences a gentle temperature shift from a warm to cool, it activates something called the vascular pump. Blood vessels contract, lymphatic flow increases, and the parasympathetic nervous system begins to take over. A 2020 study from Tokyo Medical University found that this contrast, especially in older adults, helped regulate blood pressure, reduced morning swelling in the legs, and improved overall thermal balance throughout the night. So instead of your body struggling to cool down after a hot shower, it transitions smoothly. And that makes sleep deeper, recovery faster, and immunity more stable.
So it's not about shocking the system. It's about guiding it back into balance. That makes sense. I think a lot of seniors hear cold water and they immediately picture freezing discomfort. But what you're talking about sounds like a kind of closing ritual, a signal to the body that, okay, the day is done. You can rest now.
Exactly. It's not punishment, it's communication. We're reminding the body what rhythm feels like. And when that rhythm is restored, when the blood vessels respond, when the brain feels safe, Everything from sleep to digestion to cognitive clarity improves. That's why in Japan we've used contrast bathing for centuries, not in extremes, but in balance. Just 30 seconds of cooler water at the end of your shower can do more for your recovery than many medications. And for seniors especially, it's a gentle tool that offers powerful results. Now, the third mistake, and this one is subtle but incredibly common, is using harsh soaps too often, especially on the entire body. Many people over 60 still approach bathing with the mindset of scrub everything clean. But the reality is, our skin, especially as we age, is not meant to be stripped of oils daily. The outer layer, known as the stratum corneum, becomes thinner and less effective at retaining moisture. When you wash with strong detergents or antibacterial soaps all over, you're not just removing dirt. You're damaging your skin barrier, disrupting your microbiome, and making yourself more vulnerable to infection and inflammation.
That's one of those habits that's probably been ingrained for decades. I mean, we've been told for years, wash your whole body every day, use antibacterial soap, stay fresh. So I can imagine many listeners might be thinking, if not that, then what? How do we stay clean without overdoing it?
It's a very reasonable question. Cleanliness is important, but balance is more important. The skin hosts billions of beneficial bacteria that act like an invisible defense system. When we overclean, especially with synthetic or heavily fragranced products, we weaken that defense. A 2021 study from Keio University in Japan showed that seniors who used mild pH-balanced cleansers just on key areas, underarms, groin, feet, while rinsing the rest of the body with water, maintained stronger skin integrity, fewer rashes, and even better immune markers over 6 months. The skin healed faster, held moisture better, and resisted microbial imbalance.
So really, it's about being selective. You don't have to stop using soap entirely, but maybe stop using it everywhere, every time. I think a lot of people would feel relieved to hear that actually. It's less work, less stress on the skin, and it makes biological sense.
Exactly. And when you combine that with gentle drying, patting the skin, not rubbing, and following up with a natural oil or unscented moisturizer, you reinforce the skin barrier instead of stripping it. That barrier is your first line of defense against pathogens. It also helps regulate your body's temperature, hydration, and inflammation. So protecting it, even just during a 2-minute shower, has ripple effects on your whole body.
That really reframes the whole idea of cleanliness. We often think the cleaner we are, the healthier we'll be. But what you're saying is, after 60, it's less about being spotless and more about preserving the body's natural defenses. And honestly, this makes so much sense. The older we get, the more delicate the systems become, from the skin to the immune system to the brain. So something as normal as a shower becomes an opportunity to either support or sabotage those systems. So with all that in mind, what does a smart, senior-friendly shower routine actually look like? What are the simple steps people can start following tonight that align with what you've shared? Something that's gentle, effective, and restorative, not disruptive.
Absolutely, John. And I'm glad you said the word restorative, because that's exactly what we aim for. A shower should reset the body, not exhaust it. So here's what I recommend, based on both tradition and the latest science. First, timing. It's not just when you eat or sleep that matters, but when you bathe. Aim to shower at least 90 minutes before bedtime. This allows your core body temperature to rise slightly from the warm water, then fall naturally afterward. And that drop is what triggers melatonin, your sleep hormone. It's a built-in biological cue for deep rest.
That's something I've never really thought about. We always hear about blue light affecting melatonin, but temperature as a signal. That's fascinating. So the shower is almost like a thermal bedtime story for the brain?
That's a beautiful way to put it, John. Yes, exactly. It's a temperature cue, and when used correctly, it tells your body, the day is done. It's safe to begin repair. Second, the water temperature. Keep it warm, not hot, around 37 to 39 degrees Celsius or 98 to 102 degrees Fahrenheit. That's warm enough to relax the muscles, open the pores, and calm the nervous system, but not so hot that it triggers cortisol or heart rate spikes. Third, duration. Keep your shower around 7 to 10 minutes. That's enough to cleanse and relax without overexposing your skin. Focus soap only on key areas, underarms, groin, and feet. The rest of the body doesn't need daily scrubbing. In fact, rinsing with warm water is often healthier. It preserves your skin barrier, your microbiome, and your natural immune defenses.
That's such a shift in perspective. I mean, we grew up thinking a long, steamy shower was the gold standard for health and cleanliness. But what you're saying is, in the long run, that approach may actually dry out the skin, weaken immunity, and create imbalance?
Exactly. At younger ages, the body compensates. But after 60, the skin becomes thinner, drier, and slower to repair. So overwashing, especially with the wrong products, turns from self-care into silent harm. It's not about doing less. It's about doing it smarter. Fourth, end with 30 seconds of cooler water. Not freezing, but noticeably cooler. Focus especially on the lower legs and the back of the neck, areas rich in blood vessels. This contrast wakes up your circulation and gently transitions your nervous system into parasympathetic mode, the mode for repair, not defense. And finally, follow it with a calming ritual. After patting yourself dry, not rubbing, apply a natural oil like sesame, almond, or rice bran. These are gentle, deeply nourishing, and help the skin hold moisture overnight. Then pair the shower with something peaceful, a small herbal tea, 5 minutes of slow breathing, or even writing down 3 things you're grateful for. All of this, taken together, tells your brain the day is over. You are safe now. Begin to restore.
That's just beautiful. And honestly, such a powerful reminder. Because when we talk about aging well, we often go straight to the complex stuff, brain scans, blood work, advanced supplements. But what you've just described is simple, gentle. It's something every single person listening can do, starting tonight. And what I love most is that it's not about adding more stress, more effort, more goals. It's about reducing friction, creating rhythm, giving the body exactly what it's been asking for, but in a language it understands. Before we close, Doctor, if you could leave our listeners with just one rule to remember the next time they step into the shower, what would it be?
Shower like you're speaking to your body, not scrubbing it into silence. Because after 60, your body is still listening. You just have to speak a little softer.
Amazing words by an amazing man. Let's close this episode by reminding ourselves that longevity isn't built in the big, dramatic moments. It's built in the quiet routines done with care, day after day. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.